June 2014, WagerTalk joined Twitter. August 2014, Prez loaded the first ever picks at WagerTalk. September 2014, Marco D'Angelo and Gianni the Greek filmed the first ever video for WagerTalk TV. Fast forward to today, and we now have over 58,000 Twitter followers, 110,000 subscribers on YouTube, and have become the premier brand in sports betting. So thank you. We truly appreciate everyone who has supported this amazing journey. And on Thursday, January 19th, at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all daily picks packages that day will be priced at $11, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $35. And all one-day all access, normally priced at $39, will be cut in half and priced at only $19. No coupons will be needed. All handicappers at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo are included in Customer Appreciation Day. And discounts will go live at midnight, Wednesday, January 18th.
Welcome into a very happy Thursday to you now. January the 19th, go figure here. 2023, we've got 5 games, I think, in total here today. One already underway across the pond in France between, I believe, Chicago and Detroit right now. It's at the break. Looks like Chicago is handling business right now, but we'll keep you posted if anything happens there in the second half. In the meantime, we've got a few other games on the card. We're going to break down, see if we can find some best bets for you, and we're going to do it, of course, with 3 of the best here. And it's a return command performance for all 3 of these guys. Is Marco D'Angelo back in the hot seat there, ready to roll in the association tonight, as is Brian Power and his dead plant behind him. And we also have from sportsmemo.com, Mr. Ronald Kabang, UCapper, in the house here. Guys, gentlemen, happy Thursday, Customer Appreciation Thursday, in fact, where $11 will get you a whole lot of best bets here across both Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com. And Marco, I know you got to be locked and loaded here tonight. A lot of stuff dangling out there. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I got some small stuff out there dangling, Joe. We've got a play tonight in college basketball. Got a 4% play. It's up. You can pick it up for $11, and we're on a nice little 5-day run. 12-3 for the clients, picking up over 25 units. So head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo and take advantage of Customer Appreciation Day.
Love it. Yes, opportunities here. Nice card, NBA, of course, and college basketball. I know you're taking advantage of it there, Brian Power. What's locked and loaded for us over there?
Yeah, Joe, thanks for having me. As always, just in time for Customer Appreciation Day, we've got the latest 5% play loaded. It goes this weekend in the NFL. We have won 5 consecutive 5% plays covering all sports. That goes back to the end of the bowls, and the last 4 of those 5% plays have all covered wire to wire. So I'm really excited about this one, and the people still have plenty of time to take advantage of Customer Appreciation Day and get that selection for just $11 at WagerTalk.com.
Go get it. 5% best bet locked and loaded for Brian Power. WagerTalk.com. If you head over to SportsMemo.com, you'll find our good friend UCopper Ronald Kabang, been crushing it in the association. Got it going. The man never met a total he didn't like to cash. What is going on here, UCapper? $11 appreciation day at Sports Memo as well. What do you got for us?
Yeah, right now, I think just like Marco, the college basketball is really treating me well right now. I think 12-2 run in college basketball. Doing well there. I have 2 plays up for today. I have 2 NBA plays up as well for today. One going off on this game here that's actually going off right now in France. I'm trying to add 2 more, but I'll get that done after the show here. But so total in all 4 NBA plays today, I'll be on. Hopefully we get cash those.
Guys, no reason not to make it a profitable Thursday here on this Customer Appreciation Day. We'll start, of course, I don't know how appreciative they're going to be. Those contrarian gods are fickle bastards, that's for sure. What are they looking at here tonight there? Oh, of course they are. The Phoenix Suns, who are now getting 3 after the injury report came out, which Kyrie looks to be playing. Cameron Johnson seems to be playing. No Chris Paul just yet, but Phoenix slowly but surely getting a little healthier, which is good news for them because it's been a rough stretch. But the contrarian gods say, hey, at home, don't sleep on them just yet here tonight. What do you think, Marco? Are you in agreement with the contrarian gods? Maybe the Suns a little undervalued here in this spot.
Yeah, Joe, I think you got to look at the home side here. You take a look at Brooklyn in this game, and we know that they're not playing well at the moment. 3 straight losses as they are missing their big guy, Kevin Durant. Phoenix, they've been playing horrible, but if you look at it, they've been on the road a lot. They return home tonight. Now, generally, I don't like taking a team that first game back at home, but exception going to be made tonight for a couple reasons. One, they last played on the 16th, so they've had a couple days to be at home and get things sorted out. And secondly, you've got Brooklyn coming to town. You're always going to get up for a big game like that. I'm going to take Phoenix here. When you look at this, John Q. Public's going to look and see this line at 3, maybe 2.5, and say, just pick the winner and look at all those straight up L's on the Phoenix ledger. Nah, I'm not buying it. I'll go ahead and take the contrarian side here, and that is Phoenix.
Look at that. All right. Contrarian God, one in check there in agreement. Brian Power, how about you here? Do you have any faith in this home squad to come up with the W tonight?
Well, Joe, as you know, I don't really believe in defying the contrarian gods. I don't believe I've done it yet on the program. And, you take a look at this matchup. The Nets, since Durant went out, they're 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the number. And the offensive efficiency has just really fallen off a cliff, guys. Last game, they turned over 21 times. They were 3 of 23 from 3 against the Spurs. Now, Kyrie Irving took a pass on that game, did not play. But as you mentioned, Joe, the Suns get Cam Johnson back. And I look for them in what's probably just a high variance kind of matchup to bomb away from 3. This is the team, Phoenix, 3rd best in the league in 3-point percentage. Nets, bottom 3rd in the league at defending the 3. I just don't know if you could trust a Kyrie Irving-led Nets team laying points on the road. And Marco touched on this as well a little bit. The Suns may just have 1 win in their last 10 games, but they still have a positive point differential for the season. And I just think that getting points at home against a Brooklyn team without Durant, it's the way to go here. Contrarian gods get the support from me.
All right, that's 2 now for the contrarian gods. You know what you got to do here, you Capper. Because if you're going to agree, I got to go bet Brooklyn. So go ahead and tell me what you're going to do here tonight. Do you agree with the contrarian gods?
I'm going to have to disagree here. I know how. I mean, I could see the points that they're making, but at the same time, no Booker, no bet for me for the Suns. They lost 9 of the last 10, only covering in 3 of them as well. So they're really just not in good form at all. I know not having KD is so huge for the Nets, but 3 games in, I think they've had enough time to adjust without KD. We got Warren, playing up to a level that I didn't think he was going to get to, after coming back from his injury. I know Cam Johnson is finally back. He hasn't played since November, so I'm not expecting anything big from him. I think there's going to be some rust. He's probably going to get limited with his minutes as well. One thing with this Nets team, ever since they had that coaching change, they've really been doing it with defense for the most part, and that's not going to change here, even with KD out. One thing on the Sun side with Booker out, CP out, they're not getting it done on the defensive side of the ball at all. So for me, even if both sides can't score, I know one side has better defense than the other. The Suns have allowed 5 of their last 6 opponents to go over their team total. And also, I know Marco mentioned, fading teams on off a long road trip on their first game home. But since the new year, teams coming off of at least a 4-game road trip, now at home as dogs in a non-conference game, 1-8 straight up, 2-7 against the spread. They're not doing well in that spot at all. even with the extra rest. So for me, I would only look towards the Nets in this one.
All right, we got a couple of Suns in agreement. One Brooklyn Nets. That's the beauty of this. The contrarian gods will probably be the last time we see Ronald Kabang for a while. All right, let's move on here. Featured matchup here coming up tonight. There is, of course, a couple of really interesting games. But how about we take a look at the Sixers taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Now, Sixers laying looks like 2. And that total hovering around a 233.5, 234 mark. Not a lot of crazy movement. 10:10 Eastern time tip here, a little late night special for those of us on the East Coast. But hey, Philadelphia loves the West Coast. Who knew, Marco, that well, maybe they just love LA. We'll see if they like Portland here tonight. How do you approach this game?
Well, you look at Philadelphia, and obviously, Joe, coming off the LA sweep where they get to stay in the same building for 2 games, beat the Lakers in the first game, and then beat the Clippers with a day off in between. Now they go out, another road game, head to Portland. I'm going to actually look to the Portland side here in a couple reasons. You look at Philadelphia, and although they are on that 3-game winning streak, this is a spot where after playing the Lakers and the Clippers, and I don't care what the records are of the Lakers or who's on the floor or off the floor. Those are still big games when you play the Lakers and the Clippers. Now you're stepping way down in class to play Portland. So in theory, should be easier. But we know in the NBA that that's not the way that things go. These teams don't bring the same intensity every night. And stepping down in class also sometimes translate to stepping down in effort. And that's what I expect tonight from Philadelphia, a little bit of a lackluster effort. And I'm going to go with Portland, who this is a team that, you know, after losing 5 in a row, did run off 2 in a row in back-to-back home games against Dallas, went back out on the road, played Denver. Denver, tough place to play, didn't get the job done. Now they're back at home. This is a team, too, Portland, that if you look, during that losing streak, you know, they were coming off of playing a long stretch of games on the road. They played 10 out of 12 on the road and then came home and now played 4 of their last 5 at home. And during those home games, they've picked up the shooting. Nothing like home cooking. They've shot 3 straight home games now, over 50%. I look for that to continue tonight. And stat for you on Philadelphia, they're just 1-9 when the total is 230 or higher the last 2 seasons. That's going to go ahead and put me on Portland tonight. And again, if you're looking at the 2 teams, look at their records, look at how they're playing, see this number and say, hey, just pick the winner. Philadelphia looks just a little too easy for me. I'll go ahead and take Portland.
All right. I can kind of agree with you there, Margo. It just seems so easy there. I mean, listen, Portland hasn't been playing bad. Brian, they just haven't gotten it done. I mean, the numbers are pretty good offensively. We know they can score a couple of more stops here or there, and we got a different ball game. But here they are at home, Sixers coming to town. Who do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, to your point, Joe, Portland, they're just 5-11 straight up and against the number the last 16 games. But during that time, you factor out garbage time, they're actually outscoring opponents on a per possession basis. So they're not playing bad despite that record. I do think the one concern with Portland is turnovers. They're 3rd worst in the league at doing that. But Marco hit on the road trip that Philly has been on here. They're 3-0, yes. Just beat the Clippers, who doesn't, by 10. But the previous 2 wins were by just a single point. So that 3-0 record could be looking a lot different coming in here. I might even consider sprinkling a little bit on the Blazers team total here. It's 115.5. Damian Lillard, he's averaging 39 points over his last 6 games. But make it 2 for 2 with Marco and myself. I like the Blazers to score a bunch here, obviously, and cover the spread. The trend Marco mentioned about games with a total of 230 or higher. Philly, not just 1-9 the last 2 seasons, but 0-5 this season. And Portland at home when the total is 230 or higher, 4-0 against the number. So, yeah, I like the home dog yet again here on the program.
All right, there we go. A little home dog there, Mr. Kabang. Are you in agreement, or might this be a total game you look at?
Yeah, I mean, I think Brian touched on one thing that I was looking at in this game, which was the team total. For the most part, it's really tough to step in front of the Sixers team, but also I could see all the points that you guys made for the Blazers. So, for one thing, I do know that the Blazers score a lot more at home than they do on the road. I think it's about like 10 and a half points more at home than they do on the road. And for the most part, Sixers games have been going over. 12 of their last 14 have been going over during that time frame. They're allowing 114.3 points per game, but some of those games they're not as high paced, or the books haven't been expecting them to score that much. I looked at specifically. This is a threshold that Marco even mentioned, 230 this season. With all three players available, James Harden, Maxey, and Embiid, when the total is 230 or greater, they actually haven't covered a game in that spot. 0-3 against the spread, 2-1 straight up though. And for the most part, they're allowing their opponents, to go over their team total. We talked about like a schedule spot where teams come home off a road trip, but the Blazers, they're coming off just a 1-game road trip and they're coming back home. Before that, they were on like a 4-game homestand. So what I looked at with the Blazers off a 1-game road trip, they're 2-0 straight up, 2-0 against the spread. Doesn't seem like anything crazy. They beat the Pistons 135-106. But the more impressive game was the game against the Nuggets. They beat the Nuggets 135-110. Blazers at home versus non-conference opponents with a total of 230 or greater, 3-0 straight up and against the spread, averaging 125 points per game in that spot. And like Brian mentioned, the team total right now is at 115 and a half or 116. I think they get over that. I think they reached the 120 mark at the very least here.
All right, love it. All right, some team totals. Pretty good. Should be a pretty fun game here in the 10 o'clock Eastern time zone here. One of the late night ones. We do have, of course, a total we want to focus on in one of these games. And it could very well be the one game that's going to have the most points scored. And that is the Golden State Warriors taking on the Boston Celtics. A little rematch here of a finals not too long ago. Looks like the betting market thinks, yeah, don't get a shootout here. 236 is an open, 240 and a half, 241 right now in this one. Marco, is it as simple as over or not, or do you think there's any value on the under in this one?
I think there's definitely value on the under because, as you see, everybody is betting the over like they already got tomorrow's newspaper and saw the score. And when you put Golden State, a healthy Golden State with Steph Curry in the lineup, and you put them on TV, what way is the public going to bet? They're not betting under. So I think right off the bat, we got some value to the under. Then if you dig a little bit deeper, I found some angles here. Boston is 13-5 to the under when the total is 230 or higher this season. Also, Boston 18-5 to the under when playing with 2 days rest over the last 2 seasons. Golden State, when they're playing with 2 days rest, 25-12 to the under. And again, Golden State's a public team. We know that. People love to bet Golden State. They love to bet the overs. So you're going to get that little extra value. And when you start talking about totals this high, those extra points become even more valuable. I mean, they can only set these numbers so high. I like the under. And that's maybe should have been in a contrarian angle of the show, but I'm going under with this one.
All right, like that, though. Up and under it is here. Just trying to see if we have a still questionable Jaylen Brown in this matchup. Still listed as questionable, but quite honestly, what the hell difference does it make? They're 5-0 without him. So they've done a pretty good job of handling business with or without him on the court. But what do you think here? Do you need Jaylen Brown in order to back the over in this one here, Brian?
No, I don't think you do. Let's go back to Golden State and the notion of them being a public team. Absolutely true. And, I don't need to tell you guys, their struggles on the road this year have been something else. You're talking on a team that's 5-17 straight up, 6-16 against the number away from home. Now, they have won 2 of 3 to kick off this road trip. I laid the points in the Alamo Dome against the San Antonio Spurs. That was an easy one, but they're not can't play San Antonio every night, can you, Joe? And here's the issue with the Warriors away from home: 28th in defensive rating. And when they're on the road, no team sends their opponent to the free throw line more than Golden State. So that's a big reason why the over is 17-3-2 when they're away from home, an average of 239.3 points per game in their road games. And as Marco mentioned, the starting five is ready to roll tonight for the Dubs. Boston, of course, with that great, historically great offensive start to the season. They've got the number one offensive rating in the league. They're putting up 122 points per game at home, where the over's 15-7. And I would echo Marco's concerns that this obviously looks like a very public over. If things look too easy, they often are. It's a very high number. But then I looked back at December 10th. These teams played. They combined for 230 points. That's obviously not enough to get home here. But Boston shot poorly in that game, 43.7% overall, 30% from three. I don't think they're going to shoot that poorly again here tonight. Let's not forget the last two times Boston lost, because they could lose tonight. They allow 150 to the Thunder and 123 to the Nuggets. So, look, it's on TV. Yes, it's a very public move, but I mean, do you really? If you're going to bet the under, don't watch it. If you're going to watch it, bet the over. And I think it is over or pass on this one here tonight in overtime.
Ooh, all right. So over or not here. What do you think, Ronald? I mean, obviously the biggest issue with Golden State, certainly on the road, has been their lack of defense. Celtics can score. Will they play enough defense in order to keep this thing under, or is it over or not for you?
I think it's over or not for me. I mean, I think both of these guys brought up a lot of good points. I'm not going to repeat everything that they said, because a lot of those things were actually on my notes here. But for one thing that they didn't mention is the Warriors on the first leg of back-to-back games, 3-6 straight up, 1-7-1 ATS. But the primary part is their defense is struggling, and that's the reason why they're 6-1-1 to the over in that spot, allowing their teams to go over for the most part, and their opponents are averaging 126.3 points per game. For the most part, their defense is struggling. I think their offense is going to start to pick up on the road here. I don't think they're going to struggle as much as they have been for the most part. I mean, who's gonna have this type of straight up and ATS record on the road for a full season? I think that's going to be tough for them to do, with them just being the Warriors and who they have on their roster and all the key players that they have. I think they're going to start to take these road games a little bit more seriously today. I don't know if that's going to be the case as far as them like winning or covering, but we're talking about the total here, and I don't think the defense is going to be there for the Warriors. I think the Celtics should take advantage of it. They're they're also 6-1 to the over at home versus non-conference opponents. 6-2 to the over. And they're averaging close to the 240 mark combined. So I would say that it would be the over or nothing here.
All right, little over or nothing there for Ronald Kabang. Marco going a little contrarian, saying, screw you and the over. Give me the under, public lovers. All right, let's see what we got, guys. Only 4 games going on. We might as well check out where the best bets are going to lie here tonight. All right, you guys know how we roll here. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. These guys are free to do whatever the hell they want with that 60 seconds. I know somebody won't water a plant with it. But as long as you give us the best bet, we are
joke.
good.
Oh, my God,
I'm just saying. All right, like a horticulturist, you're not. Basically, don't forget it is Customer Appreciation Day over at WagerTalkingSportsMemo.com, which means $11 best bets across the board, guys. Plenty of action, college hoops, NBA, NFL still to come here this weekend, NHL, a lot of action here. $11. Visit all 3 of these guys, Marco and Brian Power at WagerTalk, and our good friend UCapper, Ronald Kabang, over at SportsMemo.com. All right, Marco, 60 seconds on the clock for you, man. Where are you looking tonight for a best bet?
Well, I'm going to go to Minnesota, and I think we're getting a lot of line value with the Timberwolves. Toronto comes in here, and you're seeing the inflated line because Minnesota played last night. And where did they play last night? Oh, my. They played in Denver, the high altitude. That is perceived as a big negative. But Toronto laying 5 on the road, come on. This team doesn't play defense. 4 of their last 5 opponents have shot 51% or better from the field. I'm going to take Minnesota. This is a team that doesn't mind playing a lot of games in a short period of time. When they've played 6 or more games in a 10-day period, the last 2 seasons, they're 24-11 against the spread. In Toronto, when they are in a game that the total is 220 or higher this year, they're just 9-18 against the spread. Give me Minnesota plus the 5 is my best bet for Thursday.
All right, playing much better basketball for sure. Those Minnesota Timberwolves, although they choked that thing away last night in Denver. Talk to us here, Brian Power. It's 60 seconds on the clock. Give us an idea. What's the best bet tonight here on a limited card?
Yeah, let's go back to a game we already talked about. The plant may be dead, Joe, but the Portland Trail Blazers are not. We're going to go with them plus the points. Ronald mentioned this, that he said he thought that the home road split was so dramatic that the Blazers average double digits more per game at home than they do on the road. That is accurate. They are averaging 11 more points per game at home than on the road. So I think they're going to bring the offense. I mentioned Lillard averaging 39 points over his last 6 games. So Portland brings the offense. Obviously, with the spread this small, you're expecting them to get the straight-up win, and that is what I expect them to do. Philly, like I said, first 2 games of this 3-game road trip were both 1-point wins. We'd be probably having a much different conversation if one or both of those were losses. So Portland is today's best bet on the program. Go and get that 5% play over on my page at WagerTalk.com. Just $11.
Awesome. Well done. All right, a couple of best bets. And man, one more to go here. We know Mr. Kabang over at sportsmemo.com. He is locked and loaded with a few best bets already over there. But give us one on the show here, man. What are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this Warriors and Celtics game. I'm going to go back to that game here. I'm going to look towards the Celtics team total over. I mentioned why I like the over in general, but for the most part, it's because of the Celtics here and the lack of defense on the Warriors side. So 2 things going towards each other. Warriors in the first leg of back-to-back games, I mentioned 1-7 and 1 ATS, but also to the over, allowing their opponents to go over in every single game, allowing their opponents to go over every single team total in those games, averaging 126.3 points per game. Another thing to mention, the Celtics at home versus non-conference opponents, they've been going over their team totals. Warriors on the road following a road win that doesn't happen often, 0-4 straight up, but for the most part, they're allowing 127 points per game in that situation. Team total today is 123.5, I believe. I'm going to take that one to go over. The Celtics over the team total there.
All right. Boom. Celtics up and over that team total here tonight, guys, on what should be a pretty fun game to watch for sure. And to recap it, Marco, his best bet tonight, going to be Minnesota. Take them on getting those 5 points at home. Brian Power looks another home dog here with Portland tonight, welcoming in Embiid, Harden and crew there, the Sixers, while Ronald Kabang, he's looking at that Boston team total tonight, over 123.5 as they welcome in the Golden State Warriors. And quick reminder, guys, over at WagerTalk.com, you can visit Marco D'Angelo as well as Brian Power. $11 best bets. It's Customer Appreciation Day. Take advantage of it, guys. Head over there, visit them. 5% best bet, locked and loaded there for Brian Power. Just $11, guys. Hop on board there. And, of course, if you visit UCapper, Ronald Kabang, head over to sportsmemo.com. Visit his page. He's ready to go here tonight. And best bets, $11, guys. Great opportunity to head into this weekend. Very profitable, that's for sure. Pad that bankroll. Lots still going on. Ton of games tomorrow heading into the weekend in the association. We've got you covered. Until then, on behalf of Marco, Brian Power, Ronald Kabang, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with all your plays tonight. Take advantage of Customer Appreciation Day at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Come back and join us again. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. Good luck, guys. We'll see you then.
June 2014, WagerTalk joined Twitter. August 2014, Prez loaded the first ever picks at WagerTalk. September 2014, Marco D'Angelo and Gianni the Greek filmed the first ever video for WagerTalk TV. Fast forward to today, and we now have over 58,000 Twitter followers, 110,000 subscribers on YouTube, and have become the premier brand in sports betting. So thank you. We truly appreciate everyone who has supported this amazing journey. And on Thursday, January 19th, at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all daily picks packages that day will be priced at $11, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $35. And all one-day all access, normally priced at $39, will be cut in half and priced at only $19. No coupons will be needed. All handicappers at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo are included in Customer Appreciation Day. And discounts will go live at midnight Wednesday, January 18th.